This happened when I was 17. I used to babysit a lot back then to make extra money, mostly for neighbors or family friends. It was always easy cash, microwave some mac and cheese, keep the kid alive, and raid the snack drawer after bedtime. This one family, I'll call them the Reynolds, lived just a few blocks over on Marigold Lane. I had sat for them twice before, always uneventful. Their kid Lily was 5, super quiet and well behaved. Anyway, this particular night started out like the others. Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds were going to some anniversary dinner downtown. They left around 6:30 and said they'd be back a little after 11. It was still light out when they left. I helped Lily finish her mac and cheese, then we watched a Disney movie in the living room. By 8:30 she was out cold on the couch. I carried her to her room upstairs, tucked her in, and came back down to clean up. That's when things started to feel off. The Reynolds house is a split level, kitchen and living room upstairs, bedrooms on the lower floor. When I came back up after putting Lily to bed, I noticed one of the chairs at the dining table had been pulled out. Not in a way that looked accidental, like someone had been sitting there. I was pretty sure it had been pushed in before, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't think much of it. I pushed it back in and chalked it up to me being paranoid. Around 9:15, I was lying on the couch scrolling through my phone when I heard what sounded like a soft thump from downstairs. Not loud, just enough to make me freeze. It could have been the house settling or maybe Lily shifting in her bed. Still, I muted my phone and listened. Nothing. Total silence. I told myself I was overreacting, but something didn't feel right. I stood up and tiptoed to the edge of the stairs. From that angle, you can see most of the downstairs hallway. All the bedroom doors were closed, except one. The guest room. It was cracked open maybe 2 inches. I distinctly remember it being shut earlier. Now I was on edge. I whispered Lily's name just to check. Nothing. I walked downstairs slowly, heart racing, gripping my phone like it was going to protect me. I reached Lily's room. She was fast asleep, completely undisturbed. I gently shut her door and turned toward the guest room. I pushed the door open with my foot and flipped on the light. Empty, bed untouched, closet door wide open, but nothing inside except extra pillows and blankets. I felt a little better, but I still did a full check of the downstairs just to be safe. Every door was locked. Every window shut tight. I went back upstairs and texted Mrs. Reynolds. "Hey, just checking in. Everything's fine. Heard a weird noise earlier, but I think it was nothing." She responded within a minute. "Thanks for the update. Let us know if anything seems off. We're heading out now and should be back around 11:15. I figured that was the end of it. I made some popcorn and started a movie on Netflix to pass the time. I was maybe 30 minutes in when I noticed something that made my stomach drop. On the patio door, facing the backyard, there was a smudge. Not just any smudge, a very clear, oily handprint, right at face level. I hadn't opened that door once all night. I froze and just stared at it. It wasn't small either. It looked like a man's hand, long fingers, wide palm. It wasn't there before, I was sure of it. I grabbed a kitchen knife and went to check the back door, locked, deadbolt too, but the handprint was on the inside of the glass. That's when I felt it, the sense that I wasn't alone. I turned off the TV and stood completely still, listening. Then I heard it, a creak. From the hallway leading to the garage door, someone was in the house. I backed into the kitchen and dialed 911. My voice was shaking, but I managed to tell the dispatcher everything, quietly, while trying not to be heard. She told me to stay on the line and hide somewhere safe. I crouched down behind the island and held my breath. I could hear footsteps now. Slow, careful ones. They were coming up the stairs. I honestly thought I was going to pass out. My hands were slick with sweat. Every muscle in my body was frozen. The dispatcher kept whispering, "Stay calm, help is on the way, over and over again. Then I heard the loudest knock I've ever heard in my life, on the front door. 3 hard pounds. I jumped and nearly screamed. The footsteps stopped. Then, silence. Another knock, this time accompanied by a voice yelling, "Police, open up!" I didn't move until the dispatcher confirmed it was them. I crawled to the door and unlocked it with shaking hands. 2 officers came in with flashlights and cleared the entire house, top to bottom. They didn't find anyone. But what they did find still messes with me to this day. In the attic crawl space above the garage, they found a sleeping bag, 2 water bottles, a flashlight, and a bag of chips. Someone had been living in that house. We think they snuck in earlier that day or even the day before and had been hiding out ever since. The Reynolds were horrified when they found out. They changed all the locks and installed cameras everywhere after that. I never babysat for them again, not because they asked me not to, but because I couldn't bring myself to go back inside that house. The scariest part, whoever it was, they left behind a photo, a printed out photo of Lily, sleeping. Someone had taken it from inside the house,